Hi, my name's Jamie Mordaunt, and today we're going to talk about something a little more personable to me, a little bit more personable to the person sitting next to you, maybe your co-worker, maybe your friends, maybe even your own family, and that is anxiety in the pandemic. And it's something that more and more people are starting to allude to. You know, 1 in 3 people in the United States now suffers from anxiety, and 1 in 3.7 in the UK. This is something that affects everybody. You know, maybe it is your dad and you just don't realize it. So, I mean, whose fault is it? Is it the person suffering from it, or is it society as general? Is it systemic, or where does it come from? Tell me what you guys think. I think if the problems are created systemically, then the solutions must be systemic as well. I think when something reaches endemic proportions, systemically it cannot be down to the individual anymore. It must be society in general. It's one of those things out there that who do you talk to? It's not something you can narrow down. Everyone's got their own opinion. Who is most at risk with anxiety? Now, the figures say that it's women, children and preschoolers, but do you know what? Coming from a middle-aged man, I know how it feels to have anxiety, and but what do? Do we try and cover it up? I know myself, I'll have a bottle of whiskey. It's not the right thing to do, but do people cover it up? And if you cover it up, does that just make it worse? Are you hiding it? Or is it just going to manifest in another way? In the UK, they say that 3 in 10 people now have anxiety because of COVID. They don't want to die, and they're panicking because of that. That's a scary thought. I was sitting down with a friend the other day, and we're talking about anxiety and how it feels, and he heard of a story of another guy that was the light of a party, but he says during this lockdown period and times where he can't go out and celebrate life, he now feels like a shell of his former self. He has this feeling inside of him that just doesn't want to be there anymore. It's a painful feeling, and it's something that more and more people you talk to every single day do seem to alert to. And you've got to talk to someone about it. You've got to talk to friends, and it doesn't matter where you do it or when you do it. Talk things through, and you're not going to find a solution, but you're going to find an outlet to that feeling, to that anger, and to that frustration that you have inside you, that it will help. Don't bottle this stuff up like a lot of men. I mean, men going back 50, 60 years ago, they didn't have feelings. Men can't have feelings. We're hardened. We go out and we earn the money to bring the food home while the wife sits at home and cooks dinner. It's not like that anymore. We live in this 50-50 society where everyone earns money, everyone contributes to the house. Everyone suffers from anxiety as well. Just because you're a man, open up. Talk to your friends and understand how much that opening up will benefit yourself, and if it doesn't benefit you, it might benefit the next person you speak to. Mental health is something that is freaking serious out there, guys. You've really got to look after yourselves. I think the world that we live in, we're taught and we're brought up that the things that make you happy are belongings. They're the nice clothes, the nice cars, the money, the symbols of richness. But is that really what makes you happy? People are losing their jobs and people don't have as much money, but if you're only concentrating on making money, how are you going to be happy? The anxiety is always going to be there because you're never going to be able to move to the next step and become happy if all you're thinking about is the negative side of the world and the money that isn't happiness. What's the old saying of money makes you happy? Or does it? No, I don't think it does. I think it gives you choices and solutions. You can go do more with it, but it doesn't buy you happiness. It buys you a next step to there. You've got to get out of that thought process. You've got to get to the next step where happiness really exists. Look, I can only talk from my heart and how I feel and what makes me anxious in the world at the moment. And COVID has had a negative effect on me. And I live in a city, A city perpetuates the feelings of anxiety, and you're stuck in a place with millions of other people around you, and it's always about money. Everywhere you go, you're always focused on the fact that if you don't have money, you're not going to be able to do the nicer things out there, and that just perpetuates that feeling. I know that what brings that down for me is when I get out of the city, and it's when you get back down to nature and down to places like go down to the beach or the golf course with the waves and the grass and the open hills, and it's the things that are free in life that take that anxiety away from me, and I take that big deep breath, and suddenly life isn't so bad. And I need people to talk to, and I'm lucky that I've got a good group of friends that when I do have issues, I'm able to go to them and say, look guys, I'm struggling here, and sometimes I say, right, let's jump in the car and let's just go somewhere, and we do. And once you're out there, everything opens up. It's like a tidal wave of emotions, and you can get back to where you were before. And I think this lockdown has perpetuated this feeling of negativity within your soul, and it really is, it's like a clamp on your heart, and getting out there and relieving that is key to everyone's happiness. So do what you've got to do to make sure you're happy. Don't just stand around and sit down at Starbucks every single day drinking a coffee. If you've got a chance, get out there and go and do what makes you happy. I mean, there are things that you can do to help yourself during the pandemic and even coming out of it, to help yourself understand that mental health is out there for everybody, and the solutions are out there as well. I mean, just try and realize you're not alone out there. You're really not. It doesn't matter whether you're the happiest person in the world or the saddest, you're not alone. I mean, look at people like Robin Williams. He committed suicide, and everyone thought he was the happiest man in the world. You saw him on every single funny film out there. He was brilliant. He committed suicide. Just because someone's happy doesn't mean they don't have their own issues. Talk to everyone. Understand that the good, the bad, the ugly, everyone has the same problems. Talk it through. Try and stick to a schedule, because in these times where everyone's doing something a little bit different, it's easy just to lay in bed until 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the mornings and put on Netflix and watch another movie. Don't do that. Try and get up at the same time as you always used to get up, and go to the gym at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, start your work at 9, have your lunch at 1. Stick to a schedule so life is just like it is normally. And as I said, don't forget your health. And when I say health, it doesn't just mean your physical health. Going to the gym and everything's great, but your mental health. Learn to meditate, or even if that's not your thing, church isn't your thing. Take some time to yourself. Go sit in a corner and just think in the peace and quiet, and think about the positive things in the world. Think about the ones you love and what you want to achieve in your life, whether that's family, having children, or if it really is having $1 billion, work out how you're going to do it. But take that time to yourself, and do that every day. Mental health is really freaking important. And this one, avoid alcohol, avoid drugs. You don't need to get rid of it totally, but you don't need to drink a bottle of whiskey every single night. I love my whiskeys, and I will have a few every now and then, but don't become reliant on it. Don't think every time something's negative, I'm going to knock back a bottle of whiskey, because that just perpetuates a cycle of negativity in your life, and you think every time something's bad, I must associate that with alcohol, and that's not what you want to do. You want to have alcohol at the positive times. Often alcohol will make your feelings multiply. So when you're happy, you become much happier, but when you're sad, you become sadder. So anyway, that's just my thoughts, and because I do suffer from this as well. So let me know about what you guys suffer from, and how you get through it. How can we all help each other? So thank you.